Hi, Tulsi Carlson here. Today we're taking a look at Super Mario Brothers, but I'm not talking about the video game, and I'm not talking about that animated movie that came out last year. We're going back to 1993 to the infamous film adaptation that featured Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper. Umbrella Entertainment in Australia has just put out the film in 4K, and I actually used some of the money I got for Christmas to pre-order the Trust the Fungus Super Deluxe Edition. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to unbox this release, and believe me, there's a lot of stuff to unbox here, and I'll share my opinions. Nice cover art there of Mario and Luigi with the Goombas in the elevator. That's absolutely hilarious. Top of the box is just blank. Side here has the movie logo. Bottom is just blank. You can see the contents here. Here we have a backing card that lists everything that's included, has a nice picture, list of all the features. Now, this is a limited edition set of 2250, and mine is number 768. Under here we have another shot with the Goombas there. Where are those plumbers, it says. So, let's see what we have in here. Like I said, there's a lot to go through. First of all, we get this film cell. That's pretty cool. It is, unfortunately, kind of hard to see on my video here, but it looks like it's probably Koopa's dinosaur transformation near the end of the film. So that's a nice little inclusion there. We get some replica lobby cards. Right here we get a replica of the official movie magazine, right down to even having an ad for Skybox trading cards of the movie on the back. It even has all the vintage ads in here, like you got an ad for Barks Root Beer back when they put temporary tattoos. Gatefold there in the middle of our two heroes. There's some interviews with the cast and crew's introductions to the film's plot. You've got an ad for Alien and Terminator video games there. We then get a pretty nice, thick, paper-bound book of the scripts of the movie. And yes, I said scripts, as in more than one. So it starts out, there's an interview in here of sorts, sort of an introduction to what we have. Then you get in here, and there's, I believe, 2 drafts of the script that are presented here in their entirety, so very nice piece of archival footage for any fan of the film. There's the spine if I didn't show that off earlier. We also get this sheet. It's like little reproductions of what the Pogs looked like that came out around the time the movie was in theaters. Does anyone remember Pogs? And here's the holy grail right here. We get a hardbound book as well. When I heard that this was going to come with, a hardbound book, I thought this was going to be like some little 100-page thing. This thing is almost 500 pages long, and it looks at nearly every aspect of the production. You got a section here with like pre-production and concept art. I'll look at some of the costume designs. There's a section on the actual production of the film. More production behind the scenes looks. You got some looks here at the Yoshi animatronic. For the release of the film, they've got some like promo sheets and things like that. There's even some stuff from the studio about how you could decorate your movie theater for the movie. I love stuff like this, being a critic. Something on the restoration or revival of the work print cut of the movie. Got some more interviews with some of the cast and crew. I mean, I could do an entire video on YouTube just looking at what's in this book, but again, you probably want to get to the disc, so we'll do that now. The disc comes in a nice slipcover with some nice glossy art of Mario and Luigi with a Goomba. On the back it says, "Trust the Fungus." Underneath the slipcover we have different art, more akin to the original movie images we were familiar with back in the day. And there is reversible art, so I'll actually reverse this real quick. And here's the reversed art. It pretty much looks the same, but it doesn't have those obtrusive content rating things. So that's actually pretty nice that they give you the option to display it without that. And we're not even done with the goodies yet. Inside the case, we actually get 2 mini posters, which are double-sided. Here's our first one. Here's our second one. Of course, the tagline for this film being, "This ain't no game." And then we actually have reprints of some of the foreign posters. We actually have the Thai poster here. And then we have the Japanese poster. And honestly, I actually like these designs more than I like the American poster, so that's very cool. We then have 3 discs. Disc 1 is the film on 4K. And this disc also includes some trailers and deleted scenes. Disc 2 is a Blu-ray disc that has the same content as the 4K disc. And disc 3 is our bonus features disc. This includes the work print cut of the film as well as several additional bonus features. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, of course, is pretty far removed from Shigeru Miyamoto's video game series. This time around, Daisy, who's an orphan living in an orphanage in New York digging for dinosaur bones, curious about her origin, is kidnapped and taken to the mysterious alternate dimension of Dino Hatton. Meanwhile, struggling plumber brothers Mario and Luigi go to fix a leak that's caused by corporate sabotage, but it's not long before their actions find them putting themselves in Dino Hatton as well. They quickly become the object of a manhunt by the Goombas put on by King Koopa, who's in charge. It's not long before all hell breaks loose in Dino Hatton. The brothers find themselves on the run, trying to rescue Daisy, get back to their own world, and of course, try to stop Koopa from merging the real world with Dino Hatton. As you can tell from that description, it's pretty far removed from the Nintendo Shigeru Miyamoto video games. Interestingly, Nintendo, when they sold the movie rights, didn't even want any creative control because they figured anything that they would put their name on would be very successful because they had such faith in their brand. Unfortunately, the film was a critical and commercial failure, and because of that, Nintendo became very reluctant about making movie adaptations of their games. I mean, we didn't get another attempt at a Super Mario Bros. Movie until last year, which was actually much better received by fans of the franchise. So this movie, I mean, it's really hard to attest to how you approach reviewing it. Do you review it from a serious cinematic critical angle, in which case it has a lot of shortcomings, or do you look at it from the whole fun, campy, so bad it's good angle? Either way, there is a lot to like about Super Mario Bros. The title pair, of course, is played by the late Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. This, of course, was Leguizamo's breakout role, and in a lot of the bonus features, he even gives credit to the producers for giving him this chance. Bob Hoskins was probably best known prior to this for his role in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So it's kind of interesting. We have a Latin man and a British man playing 2 Italian brothers. And yet, surprisingly, they do pretty good and have a lot of fun with the role. Dennis Hopper plays King Koopa, the main villain, never actually referred to as Bowser in the film. Dennis Hopper was like the quintessential bad guy in everything he was. He pretty much played this one kind of bad guy in every movie, but he played the part so well. Even when he was doing something as campy and hammy as the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993, I mean, he still played it completely straight and was chewing up the scenery every time he was on screen. It's movies like this that really make me miss the guy. The supporting cast is pretty solid as well, including a lot of supporting characters that were just made up for this movie. And again, everyone seems to have the best time they can with what they're given, doing the best with what material they have. This was an infamously troubled production. A lot of actors, including Hoskins, claimed to absolutely hate their time working on the film. Dennis Hopper was, of course, infamously known for hating the fact that the script was regularly changing. Despite this, it has grown in reception over the years and become something of a cult classic. I think I was maybe 8, almost 9 years old when this first came out in theaters, and I lived out in Henderson, which is the town that borders Las Vegas, and they just opened a brand new movie theater down the street from where I grew up with my parents. This was probably like the second movie I ever saw in that theater after The Sandlot. Whether this is a good movie or not, that's entirely up to you. One thing you can't argue with is the production values are actually very high. I mean, You have this weird world that kind of feels like a mashup of Blade Runner, Batman, and, you know, just about everything else in between. It's bizarre, it's surreal, it's campy. At times it definitely shows its shortcomings, but you can't deny Super Mario Bros. Is a lot of fun. So there has never really been a good release of this movie on a more modern format in the United States, which is why I wanted to import this Australian Blu-ray. There were some previous Blu-ray releases of the film, but they were only released in other countries, some of which were region-locked, some of which I think were actually region-free. I never bought any of those, but I did happily import this, and of course, just a few days ago, I finally got my copy in the mail. Now, one minor thing I do need to get out of the way, there is no HDR for the movie. Although, strangely, there actually is HDR for the bonus features that are on the 4K disc, including the deleted scenes. Apparently, Umbrella Entertainment wasn't able to get an HDR master of the movie, but they were somehow able to add HDR to the bonus features. I don't know the whole story here. You can probably find out more online if you go look it up. But I'm happy to say that regardless of this, the film looks very good in 4K. You do get the expected uptick in color and, of course, deeper, darker black levels. I really do think the extra little push from HDR would have made a difference. But overall, for what it is, this is by far the best the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993 has ever looked. I don't think fans will be disappointed. And then we come to the bonus features, and there are a ton of them in this set. The 2 discs that have the movie also include some trailers, and they have about 20 minutes worth of deleted scenes, which were probably rightfully left on the cutting room floor because they don't really add anything to the movie. And understandably, some of those are just like VHS quality and don't look very good. The work print cut of the movie also looks like an upscaled VHS tape, and it looks really rough and doesn't have a lot of detail. So it might be kind of hard to sit through that, but I'm glad to have that here for just archival's sake. But that 3rd disc also has a ton of documentaries, both more recent ones, which were presumably made for the foreign Blu-ray releases, and then a lot of, archival stuff as well, including some EPK type stuff from when the movie came out. We even get a collection of, trailers, both domestic and foreign. We get some commercials and music videos. We even get some of the old Ertl toy commercials. So even though they're not necessarily in the best of shape, they really went the extra mile here. I mean, there's probably at least like 3 hours worth of bonus material, and that doesn't even include the commentary tracks, and there's like 4 of those. So if you're a fan of the movie, you're going to be busy for a really long time. And one other thing I did want to point out really briefly, the case that this comes in, this is actually a really hard, really sturdy cardboard case. I appreciate the fact Umbrella didn't just throw these in some paper-thin case that's easily ripped, so very happy to see that. This is a phenomenal reissue of a film that's, again, never really got the best critical reception, never did the best in theaters, but has become a cult classic. Is this a movie that's really deserving of that treatment? Whether you want to believe that or not is certainly debatable, but I thought this was a phenomenal edition of a movie that I've had a soft spot for many years. Certainly one of the high water marks of my youth, despite its obvious shortcomings. Probably the only minor complaint I have with this set, aside from the lack of HDR, I really wish that included a copy of the CD soundtrack, or at least a CD single for the Roxette Almost Unreal song that was recorded for the film. Minor nitpicks aside, though, this is a fantastic edition of a movie that, again, I certainly have my love for, despite what it does wrong and does poorly. And if you're a fan of the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, you definitely want to get your hands on this one. How about you? Were you a fan of the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie? Do you think it's a terrible movie that deserved the negative backlash? Do you think it's a cult classic that's so bad it's good? Have you picked up one of these releases from Umbrella Entertainment yet? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm T.O.T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.